Hey, how's it going? This is Brian. I run Amiga CD32.com. A couple of 4 years ago, I went and did a walkthrough of my game room, and I just realized today that, hey, I haven't updated that page in almost 5 years before my kid was born, so I am going to do a quick walkthrough today and give you a rundown of what the collection looks like 4 and some years later. So, this is the current game room. This is actually one room of 3, which means that I have an unhealthy obsession with collecting crap. But since it's actually organized, I can't be qualified as or classified as a hoarder yet. At least I hope not. So what we're going to do is we're going to start over here on this side, just kind of work our way around the room here. All of these drawers are full of video games, and if not video games, they're full of video game parts or computer parts. In the corner over there, which we're going to get to, is all the old classic computers and handhelds. Keep going through, you have drawers full of controllers. I'm also into amateur radio, so there's my amateur setup. There is my TV with way too much stuff hooked straight into it, and more stuff in a closet full of neatness also. So this is going to be room 1 of 3. We'll just start going through it here. So just start going through the drawers. We have Texas Instruments cartridges and Tandy Color computer cartridges. Unsurprisingly, these don't get used very often. A large amount of Genesis games that unfortunately aren't boxed. And more Genesis games. Random Nintendo 64 games. This is part of the Amiga CD32 collection. This is just Amiga CD32 stuff. There might be a couple of other CDs in there, maybe some Amiga stuff. Again, more Amiga CD32 stuff in a drawer. And in here we have anything from PC Engine Duo to Neo Geo, some CDI, some TurboGrafx, and some other randomness in here. And here we got Atari XE computer stuff. And here also more Atari XE computer stuff, some Commodore 64 stuff, and Intellivision games. This is more PC Engine stuff, some random Virtual Boy stuff, Game Boy, Link stuff, and whatever kind of miscellaneous. Here you have your Master System with some Famicom carts and overflow of TI carts. PlayStation 2 games. This is where we start the Atari 2600 stuff. Down here we have import Sega Saturn, import GameCube, and might be some other random things in there. Can't really open this drawer very well. Just take my word for it. This is a whole bunch of Animal Crossing toys that my wife collects. This would be a big bag of Game Gear stuff. This is more Animal Crossing stuff. In here, in the little corner, you'll see we have a Commodore 116. Have some Commodore 64 stuff. We have a Super Cassette Vision. And here we have a Panasonic MSX2. Unfortunately, we also have an R-Zone in there. And I collect a lot of GameCube stuff, so here's some GameCube. And more GameCube. And surprisingly, more GameCube. Here you have VIC-20, a whole bunch of Famicom disc games. Some are pirates, some aren't. Timex Sinclair 2068 and some tapes. IBM PC Junior and my second Amiga CD32. PlayStation, TurboGrafx, and some random parts. And oddly enough, more GameCube games. Here we start getting into my first system I ever owned, Intellivision. I do have a complete collection except for the 2 European releases. More Intellivision stuff. And that's not going to go in easy. Miscellaneous random computer parts. Same thing. Same thing again. And yep. This would be all Jaguar. Atari 5200. Yeah, that's not going back well. More Intellivision stuff. Parts and NES. More extra Super Nintendos and Genesis. Coleco Atom carts, tapes, Timex Sinclair tapes, and a brand new TI speech processor. MP. Start going into more Atari 2600 goodness, and even more. Yep. Start going over here to Xbox and 360 stuff. And again, more of the same. Here we have some boxed Game Gear, Wonder Swan, Game Boy, Nintendo, some other stuff in here. Commodore 64 cartridges, if you ever remember the C64GS. This is what it came in. So, also some N64 stuff. Lots of DS stuff. And Atari Lynx. Big drawer O Wii. And Wii continues. Those are backups. Super Nintendo, Sega CD, and other backups. The backups, by the way, are being replaced by the real thing as time goes on. Dreamcast. And it's the end of the drawers over there. Keep going. We have an Amiga 4000. Amiga 1200, Atari 2GS, Commodore 128 with hard drive and disk drives. And you'll notice the flash card in the very front. It's for storage. In the back we have MMC 64 Fastlit cart. This is all the GameCube neatness. Have Japanese. Tales of Symphonia. Dark green one's the developers. Then just random toys and handhelds. More handhelds, Wonder Swans, DS's, Neo Geos, and more handheld. Friend of mine, it's video game related stuff, so that's what that is. Going across here we have an iCade, Virtual Boy, Interon VC4000, Sega Master System 2, RCA Studio 2, Video Pinball, and a Vectrix. I also collect radio stuff, so that's what that is right there. Also in the back, Sega Saturn, and more Sega Saturn. These drawers down here, these are all controllers, sorted by kind of like decade. This is Atari, this is your 80s decade. This is your 90s decade. And today. I think this is just all computer related junk. Keep going. This is my amateur radio setup in here. And if you are into that, you'll see it's on a PSK digital mode right now. This is the setup on the TV, so we'll just start going through these. Atari XEGS, a new one. Below it's, I do Laserdisc. It's a Dyna 2-in-1. The 2-in-1's a ColecoVision and an SG-1001. You have your Odyssey 2. Here's a Tectoy Master System 3 from Brazil. Apple TV. It's a PC Engine Duo. Commodore 64 GS. And a PlayStation 2. This is a 7800. There's a PAL CD32. It's my daughter's V-Smile. Underneath it, your Xbox. Your Neo Geo CD. Here's your Famicom Twin. Down here, you have a Super Nintendo, Jaguar, ColecoVision down below. There's a lot of switch boxes. This is a Dreamcast and GameCube. Down below that's an N64. You'll also see that there's stuff behind it. I don't know if you can see that. There's a Bandai Palladium behind it. This is the Sega CD, Sega Saturn, 3DO. This is a Wii that may or may not have a hard drive with stuff on it. And then television. This is a CD-TV and a CDI and an Atari 5200. So we'll walk over in the corner of the room here. This is Jaguar stuff. This is all Super Famicom. It's an Aquarius, so it never comes out of the box. This is Channel F and some Overflow Genesis cards. ColecoVision. This is a broken drawer full of, well, Game.com, so full of broken games. CDI. And Nintendo. More Nintendo. And more Nintendo. And, yep. And bottom drawer here is more Nintendo and Super Nintendo. Go to the closet of mess. So up on top, have an Astrocade and some various parts. Brand new Hyperscan. Can't see any good reason to ever open that up. Have your Genesis. Have a Microvision setup. It's all PC Junior and Timex Sinclair stuff. These are all actual original discs. And you have a big pile of stuff. Box Vix 20, Vox 64, Box 16. There's a Sinclair QL down there. Right there's a Tandy, is that a 4P? Odyssey 200. And over here, have a Master System collection. It's complete for the US. By complete, I mean I have all the games. They're not all boxed. You'll also notice there's some British ones in there, and you'll notice some Brazilian Tectoy ones in there. And some 32X, and just various discs and whatnot in there. And that's it for this room. This will continue on 2 more rooms in just a minute. We've moved into another room. It's not really a game room per se, but some of the game stuff ended up in here, so we'll kind of give you a rundown of this. This is my TV room, and in my TV room we have, well, TV. And we watch movies in here, but also have a lot of the game consoles in here, so we'll walk through it. But also something kind of interesting is it's not just games in here. Everything you see up there, those are also laser discs. That's cool, and it's also kind of sad that I have them all at the same time. So I collect those too. But down here we have a standard 360, our PS3, HD DVD player, and Apple TV. It's kind of hard to see, I think, in this, but that's also a Wii U. This is the setup. This is the media server that streams media throughout the entire house. And I think that's it for game related. And I believe that is it for in here. Last room of the house that my collection has taken over, much to the chagrin of my wife. Walk through it here. This is the bookcase of boxed games, mostly computer, some Intellivision homebrews. You can see the original gray box Infocom games for home computers. You have Amiga software, some Apple II software further down, more Amiga software. You have a whole bunch of gatefolds if you remember the original gatefold games like I do, or if you're as old as me. Take this as you will. This is some Memorex Viz games. Further down you have your 3DO, some more Apple II software, just some random CPM type stuff. Come over to the other bookcase. You have your Atari boxed games, and further down some 7800 games. Inside the closet here, this is where the computer collection lives that I'm not actively using at the time. So we'll just start going through this mess. Have a Coleco Adams, some 128Ts. It's a C1, if you've ever heard of that. It's the motherboard that was supposed to do all sorts of neat emulation via hardware, but unfortunately they've spent very little time making cores for it, and they've moved on to other things, so it's kind of orphaned at this point. In the corner here you have a color computer, Tommy Tutor Apple IIc. Big collection of disk drives. Some Amiga 600s, Nexi GS, more disk drives. Corner you have a +4, some 1200s. And that corner is the big pile of stuff that's going to be going to the OVG for. It's up for sale this year. It's my spare stuff. So, and that is the end of the collection. And I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough. If you have any comments, just go ahead and leave them on the video, or send me an email, or hit our page at AmigaCD32.com. Thanks.